Now, let's explore which Hollywood stars were truly living the high life and always at the party. Many celebrities have been known for their wild lifestyles, with some being rumored to be drunk more often than not. We are about to reveal 20 stars whose off-screen antics might surprise you. So, get ready for some jaw-dropping tales that will give you a glimpse into their carefree and sometimes reckless lives. Grab your favorite drink and let's dive into these fascinating stories. Hollywood legend Elizabeth Taylor struggled with alcoholism and addiction to painkillers for decades. Known for her beauty and talent on the silver screen, she often found herself too intoxicated to read her lines during filming. Despite her struggles, Taylor was a pioneer in seeking help for addiction, becoming the first celebrity to admit herself to the Betty Ford Clinic in 1983. Betty Ford, the wife of US President Gerald Ford, had also struggled with addiction and opened the Rehabilitation Center in 1978 to help others. She once stated, "If I had not found recovery from my own addiction to prescription drugs and to alcohol, I would not have lived to see this day. I would not have lived to see 3 of my children be married. I would not have experienced the joy of being the grandmother of 5 wonderful granddaughters." Taylor's willingness to face her addiction had a profound impact on others suffering in silence. She likely had no idea the extent of the effect her actions would have on those battling addiction. Despite her struggles, Taylor's talent and beauty shone through, earning her 2 Academy Awards for her performances in Butterfield 8 and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Her career spanned over 6 decades, and she remains one of the most iconic actresses in Hollywood history. Through her struggles, Taylor showed the world that even in the face of addiction, it is possible to seek help and turn one's life around. Her legacy continues to inspire and provide hope to those battling addiction today. As Betty Ford once said, "Treatment works, it saves lives." Furthermore, Gail Russell, a beautiful brunette with dark blue eyes, was a gifted talent who dreamed of becoming a commercial artist. Her first love was shadowed by the specters of the past. Born Elizabeth L. Russell in Chicago on September 21, 1924, she was painfully shy throughout her childhood. In 1946, Russell starred in the first of 4 films she made for Republic Pictures. John Wayne co-produced The Angel and The Badman, and specifically requested Gail Russell to play opposite him in the Western. She was a success on screen, but her personal life was less so. Russell spent a month in a sanitarium learning to deal with the humiliation and hurt she experienced from a public divorce. Once she was released, she resorted to drinking. On November 26, 1953, Russell was arrested for drunk driving. 2 months later, the troubled actress was placed on 2 years probation with conditions. On August 26, 1961, less than 4 years after her pledge about setting her life on a new course, Gail was found dead in her apartment. She had lost her battle with alcohol. Her body was discovered by neighbors that had stopped by to check on her. Russell was lying on the floor next to an empty bottle of vodka, with additional bottles of alcohol strewn about her home. Gail Russell was 36 years old when she passed away. Moreover, in the 1950s, the noted screen legend Cary Grant took significant steps to address his struggles with alcoholism. Recognizing that this was not a healthy path, he sought the assistance of a psychotherapist. This was a time of experimentation with various therapies, and the psychotherapist introduced Grant to a new drug known as LSD. Grant found great enjoyment during his trips on this substance, which led him to share the experience with some of his friends. Among his friends was Julie Balaban, who was the daughter of the Paramount president. She noted that she believed if it was beneficial for Cary Grant, then it must be worthwhile for her too. It is estimated that Grant might have taken LSD around 100 times while undergoing treatment. This new perspective brought about a transformation in his life, contributing to a more positive outlook. He continued to live happily until he passed away at the age of 82. Furthermore, Gig Young was married to actress Elizabeth Montgomery from 1956 to 1963, a marriage that strained Elizabeth's relationship with her father Robert Montgomery, who opposed the union. Young's alcoholism continued to spiral out of control and hastened the end of this already abusive marriage. Young married 5 times and fathered a daughter in 1964, though he denied paternity until a 5-year court case proved otherwise. Alcoholism plagued his later years, causing him to lose acting roles. He was fired on the first day of shooting the comedy film Blazing Saddles after collapsing on the set due to withdrawals from alcohol. Young was an invisible presence in a terrible movie, The Hindenburg, also released in 1975. Then he hit rock bottom in 1978 when he was cast in a patchwork reworking of an unreleased kung fu movie called Game of Death, incomplete footage of which was shot prior to star Bruce Lee's death in 1973. On October 19, 1978, 3 weeks after his marriage to Schmidt, the couple was found dead at home in their Manhattan apartment. Police theorized that Young first shot his wife and then turned the gun on himself in a murder-suicide. After an investigation, police stated Young had acted on the spur of the moment, and his actions were not planned. His motive remains unclear. It was later revealed that Young had been receiving psychiatric treatment from the controversial psychologist Dr. Eugene Landy, who was later professionally desertified for his treatment of Beach Boy Brian Wilson. Gig Young never did get his own movie, but unfortunately, he did get his own headlines. Now, instead of being known as a great actor, he is known as a sad, troubled, and confused murderer. Another sad story in Hollywood that should have ended much differently. Veronica Lake, who was born Constance Ockelman in Brooklyn, New York, knew what she was talking about. Her beauty and mystique made her the biggest film sensation of 1941. Fame, motherhood, and 4 marriages failed to make her happy. Alcoholism would become a burden she could never shake. Veronica eventually ran away, hoping to live out the rest of her life in quiet anonymity, but the world had other ideas. Taken all the joy out of life, she said. I was all through with this kind of stuff. In her last years, Veronica did some acting and starred in a horror film. While visiting Vermont in 1973, she entered the hospital for stomach pains. She died a short time later from acute hepatitis and kidney injury caused by years of heavy drinking. I wouldn't live it any differently than it was, Veronica said of her life. How would I learn to be a person otherwise? John Huston was a famous actor and director. He directed many classic movies like The African Queen and The Maltese Falcon. However, his 2 favorite things were drinking and having sex, according to the women he dated. His filmography was very long, but his pants were even longer. Even his daughter, actress Angelica Houston, said that he had extremely large genitalia. In addition to this, he was married 5 times and cheated on all of them. Despite this, he made many good films while drunk. Transition now, let's delve into the life of Michael Landon. Michael Landon, known for his roles on Bonanza and Little House on the Prairie, was the pinnacle of the clean, well-respected man on television. However, behind the scenes, he struggled with addiction to alcohol and Valium. His co-stars were unaware of the extent of his drinking, as he would spike his coffee with whiskey and other drinks with vodka. Melissa Gilbert, his on-screen daughter, revealed that she didn't know about his alcohol consumption. Alongside his drinking, Landon smoked 4 packs of unfiltered cigarettes daily, likely contributing to his pancreatic cancer diagnosis and eventual passing at just 54 years old. Furthermore, Dean Martin, known as the King of Cool, once famously remarked, "I feel sorry for people who don't drink when they wake up in the morning. That's as good as they're going to feel all day." Despite his on-stage persona as a lovable drunk, close friends and family revealed that it was all an act, with Martin often having apple juice in his glass. While his image was enhanced by a drink and cigarette in hand, he was a devoted father who prioritized family time and shared only 1 cocktail with his wife in the evenings. Although alcohol played a significant role in his career, Dean Martin knew when to draw the line. He passed away in 1995 at the age of 78, leaving behind a legacy of timeless hits like Everybody Loves Somebody Sometime. Furthermore, John Wayne's impact on Hollywood and the wider world is undeniable. His career spanned more than 170 films and TV productions, solidifying his status as one of cinema's greatest stars. Recognized by the American Film Institute as one of the greatest male stars of classic American cinema, Wayne's reputation with viewers across the globe was unparalleled. His Academy Award win for True Grit in 1970 marked a pinnacle in his career. Despite his success on screen, Wayne's personal life remained shrouded in mystery, with discussions about his notorious drinking habits. According to accounts from his son Ethan and other sources, Wayne was known to indulge in bourbon and tequila, often leading to mean-spirited behavior. However, it's important to consider the context of the times in which Wayne lived, as societal norms around alcohol consumption were different. Beyond his personal life, Wayne was also known for his outspoken nature on various topics, leaving a lasting impression on both Hollywood and the world at large. In January 1988, Ava Gardner, ravaged by booze and cigarettes, reached out to British journalist Peter Evans to ghostwrite her memoirs. Gardner, a Hollywood goddess, had a tumultuous life, marrying and divorcing Artie Shaw and Frank Sinatra, opting for abortions over children. Despite her turbulent relationships, Gardner maintained a sentimental attachment to her jewels. She had a peculiar bond with Howard Hughes, never succumbing to his advances. Gardner's career peaked in 1954 with The Barefoot Contessa, portraying a tragic starlet. Eventually, tired of playing roles that mirrored her own misery, Gardner sought solace in Madrid, embracing the Spanish culture and living a carefree life. Despite her flamboyant behavior, Gardner spent her final years quietly in London. John Cassavetes was an actor and director who is often called the father of American independent cinema. He was known for his unique style, and his films often explored the darker sides of human nature. Cassavetes died at the young age of 59 after a long battle with alcoholism, which had a significant impact on his health and work. Despite his early death, his influence on the film industry and his unique approach to storytelling have left a lasting impact. Furthermore, Leonard Nimoy is best known for his role as Spock in the original Star Trek series from 1966 to 1969. He also reprised this role in numerous films, television shows, and video games. At that time, Nimoy had not anticipated the significant effect this character would have on his life. Before Star Trek, he had appeared on television and in movies without achieving the level of recognition that followed. After the original series, Nimoy ventured into other avenues, including starring in Mission Impossible for 2 seasons. He hosted the documentary series In Search of, and narrated the computer game Civilization 4. Additionally, he made several notable stage appearances throughout his career. During his time in the spotlight, Nimoy faced personal challenges, including battling an alcohol addiction while filming Star Trek. He later shared that he began drinking to cope with the long days on set. His co-star William Shatner noted that Nimoy started drinking to numb the disappointment that often accompanies fame. Unfortunately, one drink quickly turned into 2, leading to an addiction that became difficult for him to manage. After wrapping the original series, Nimoy sought help by entering rehab, aiming to confront his struggles. While he overcame his alcohol issues, another habit, smoking, ultimately took his life at age 83. Throughout his life, Nimoy's contributions to entertainment remained significant, but his personal battles reflected the struggles many faced behind the scenes. His character Spock left a lasting impression on fans around the world, marking him as a memorable figure in the industry. Thus, Bud Abbott was long acknowledged as one of the best straight men in the business. Born William Alexander Abbott in Reading, Pennsylvania, he was the son of Ray Pfizer and Harry Abbott, both of whom had worked for the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Harry held the position of advanced man. Abandoning school as a child, Abbott began working in Coney Island at the age of 16. His father, now with the Columbia Burlesque Wheel, arranged to have him installed in the box office of the Casino Theater in Brooklyn. In time, Abbott started organizing touring burlesque shows. In 1918, he married Betty Smith, who was a burlesque dancer and comedian. Soon after their marriage, they began to produce a vaudeville tab show titled Broadway Flashes, which toured the Guston vaudeville circuit. Around 1924, Abbott began to perform alongside Betty. As his stature grew, he worked with veteran comedians like Harry Stepp and Harry Evanson. During the filming of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein in 1948, director Charles Barton handled Costello's antics, which included starting a pie fight with Dracula and walking the werewolf around Universal Studios. While these antics were humorous, there was a larger issue with Abbott, who often became so inebriated by the afternoon that he struggled with filming for the rest of the day. Abbott once shared that a doctor had warned him in his youth that if he continued drinking, he wouldn't live to see 30. Concerned by the diagnosis, he decided to remain drunk for the next 40 years. His banter often included playful exchanges, like when he asked, "I want to know what's the picture's name?" to which a teammate would respond with playful confusion and wit. These moments contributed to his dynamic performances with Costello, creating lasting memories for audiences. However challenging it was to film the 1975 movie Jaws, the set was filled with tension due to big sharks, choppy waters, and testy coworkers. Robert Shaw faced a daunting task as he contended with his character's physical demands and the substantial size of the shark prop. This prop, weighing several tons, was not just a piece of equipment. It often came down hard, leading to a difficult shooting environment. During long days on set, Shaw was known to sip scotch, which inevitably affected his interactions with his co-star Richard Dreyfuss. Tension brewed between them as many noted that Shaw was frequently drunk throughout filming, with only one exception being the scene where his character is meant to be intoxicated. Richard Dreyfuss candidly recalled that he enjoyed Shaw's company when he was sober, but had difficulty dealing with him when alcohol entered the mix. At one point, the frustration peaked so much that Dreyfuss took a glass of booze from Shaw's hand and dumped it into the ocean. Shaw himself remarked humorously about his drinking habits, claiming, "The only time I'm ever drunk is on television. I'm never drunk in private life or at work." This added a layer of complexity to the production, as the behind-the-scenes dynamics unfolded alongside the film's chaotic shooting schedule. The actors navigated their roles alongside the infamous shark scenes, marked by several technical difficulties, making filming Jaws a truly memorable experience, albeit a tumultuous one. Joan Crawford's love for Pepsi was no secret, especially after she married the CEO of PepsiCo, Alfred Steele. As a popular actress, Crawford's influence extended beyond the silver screen and into the world of business. Steele even awarded her a position on the company's board of directors, making her an official ambassador for Pepsi. Crawford took her new role very seriously and embarked on a promotional tour across the country. However, she didn't just stick to promoting Pepsi. Crawford used her position to indulge in her love for alcohol, requesting an impressive array of drinks at each stop on the tour. Her requests included 2/5 of 100 proof vodka, 150 of Old Forester bourbon, 1/5 of Chas Regal Scotch, 1/5 beer gin, 2 bottles of Moet and Shannon champagne, and of course, a case of Pepsi. Despite often only being in town for less than 24 hours, Crawford made sure to make the most of her time and enjoy her favorite drinks. While some might have been taken aback by Crawford's demands, her husband and those working on the tour were undoubtedly used to her larger-than-life personality. As a successful actress and businesswoman, Crawford had earned a reputation for being bold and unapologetic, and her love for Pepsi was just one example of her larger-than-life personality. In fact, Crawford's love for Pepsi went beyond just the promotional tour. She was known to have a Pepsi machine installed in her home, and would often be seen with a can of the soda in hand, both on and off the set. Crawford's devotion to Pepsi was unwavering, and her influence on the brand and its success during her time as an ambassador is undeniable. Despite her indulgence in alcohol during the promotional tour, Crawford remained a dedicated and hardworking ambassador for Pepsi until her death in 1977. Her legacy as a successful actress and businesswoman continues to inspire and captivate audiences to this day. Bela Lugosi, born Bela Ferenctejo Blasco, was a Hungarian-American actor who became synonymous with the role of Count Dracula. His portrayal of the iconic character in the 1931 horror film classic Dracula immortalized him in the annals of cinema history. Lugosi's career was marked by a series of memorable roles in horror films, including Son of Frankenstein, and numerous other productions from 1931 through 1956. However, his journey was not without its challenges. He developed severe chronic sciatica, which led to a reliance on alcohol and medication. In the beginning, Lugosi was treated with benign pain remedies such as asparagus juice. But as his condition worsened, doctors increased his medication to opiates, particularly morphine. His dependence on these substances grew, and after 1947, when methadone became available in America, his addiction became even more pronounced. The impact of his addiction was stark. In 1937, Lugosi was forced to withdraw from a leading role in the serial production, The Secret of Treasure Island, due to constant back pain. His addiction also led to erratic behavior on set, causing friction with directors and colleagues. One such incident occurred during the filming of Glenn or Glinda, directed by Ed Wood. Wood found Lugosi hiding behind a curtain, tears streaming down his face and a gun in his hand. "Eddie, I'm going to die tonight," Lugosi said. "I want to take you with me." Wood, a fellow drunk, realized what it would take to appease the now out-of-mind actor and offered him his favorite drink, Boilermakers. Lugosi put the gun down and drank himself to sleep. Despite these challenges, Lugosi's legacy in horror cinema remains undiminished. His performances continue to captivate audiences, a testament to his enduring talent and the mark he left on the genre. His story serves as a reminder of the human struggles that often lie behind the curtain of stardom. William Frawley, best known for his role as Fred Mertz in the classic sitcom I Love Lucy, had a personality that was not far removed from his on-screen character. A notorious misanthrope, Frawley had a failed marriage behind him and a fondness for alcohol that was well known in Hollywood. For many years, Frawley lived in the same bachelor apartment, unable to secure his first choice for the role of Fred Murray's on-screen wife. Desi Arnaz, the show's producer, had concerns about Frawley's alcoholism, but Frawley heavily lobbied for the part and readily agreed to Arnaz's condition that he would not show up drunk for work more than once. Despite his lengthy film resume, Frawley was virtually unemployable by 1951 due to his alcoholism and disagreeable personality. However, he never showed up drunk on the set of I Love Lucy, and even became close friends with Arnaz. When Frawley died in 1966, his gross estate totaled $924.46, and his assets were on track to grow after his death. He had a residual deal for I Love Lucy and My Three Sons, which was unique to performers of the day, allowing him to be paid in perpetuity, and his estate and heirs still earn income for rerun revenues. In summary, William Frawley was a talented actor with a personality that was not always easy to work with. However, his contributions to the world of television and his unique residual deal have left a lasting impact on the industry. William Franklin Beadle Jr., known by his stage name William Holden, was born on April 17, 1918, in O'Fallon, Illinois. He later moved with his family to Pasadena, California, where his interest in acting began to flourish. Holden's breakthrough role came in 1939 when he starred in the film Golden Boy, which set the stage for his future cinematic successes. Before becoming a full-time actor, Holden attended Pasadena Junior College and the University of Southern California. Throughout his career, Holden showcased his versatility and adaptability in various genres. In the 1950s, he emerged as one of Hollywood's top leading men, with standout performances in films like Stalag 17, for which he won an Academy Award for Best Actor, and Sunset Boulevard, which earned him a nomination. Holden's notable works also include The Bridge on the River Kwai, Network, and The Wild Bunch. Off-screen, Holden was an ardent conservationist and co-founded the Mount Kenya Game Ranch in East Africa. Despite his successful career and numerous accolades, Holden battled alcoholism throughout his life. His heavy drinking affected his personal and professional life, leading to divorces and a drunk driving incident where he killed another driver on November 12, 1981. Holden's life came to a tragic end when he slipped and hit his head on a table while drunk, and wasn't found until 4 days after his death. His career and life serve as a reminder of the destructive power of addiction and the importance of seeking